Oh, by the way, this Friday we'll have a lab on densities. I will let everyone know ahead of time, and the procedure will be changed. And so on Friday is a good time. If any questions about this quiz, about the worksheet, this is a good time on Friday to we'll have a conference Zoom just like this. Okay, so right now the meeting's been recorded, and any questions? Any question? Okay, so the chat room is okay. Okay, feel free to raise your hand if you need me to slow down, need more clarify. The conference Zoom make it more interactive, so we'll all benefit if you let me slow down. Okay, feel free to raise your hands, let me slow down. And the question number 5. And so this kind of question, back and forth, is all about ask about those familiar with those. We have not get into name and writing formula yet, but these are the foundation. So I did on purpose, made a lot of questions, kind of you exercise on the get familiar with the material. Oh, by the way, so some of you asked me question about the how the exams, midterms will be. So far, the department and the college have not decided. And there's a software we can we can proctor the exam, but that requires a webcam. And they, if just in case, if you have to install a webcam to take a midterm final exam, don't be too stressed out, because imagine when you're in the classroom, you attend a physical, the on-site exam, the instructor will watch you all the time. So just have a webcam sitting there watch you is nothing different from in the classroom that a physical person watch you. So, but we have not decided how we proceed with the midterm and final exam. All the future quizzes will be online, and it'll be just like this this quiz that I'm showing you. And the question I show you here may not be exactly you will do, because I have for each question several options, several choices. So basically there are thousands of combinations in terms of how many different versions of quiz that it will take. So very important to understand the material, not so much to group do together, or because you have really understand the material yourself. So that's
Professor, will there be any attempts for the quizzes or no?
The quiz, I think, is multiple attempts. I don't remember how many attempts. At least 3. I would imagine at least 3 attempts. And very likely, I think a very high chance if you try the second time, you might end up with different questions.
Okay.
I think the pretty much 90% chance you will have different questions.
Okay.
For most of the questions, because they're all similar. The question I made, different versions, they are very similar.
Okay.
To make it fair, to make it consistent. So yes,
okay.
There will be multiple attempts, and all the future quizzes will be the same. Yes.
Okay.
More than one. I think at least 2. I'll coordinate with the department, see how they will proceed with the online quiz, because most of us will have to give online quiz, and even the midterm final will probably be online, and that's that can be actually where the instructor not too happy with this online proctoring, but so far that's the only option we have.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. And so I'm showing question 5. Question 5. Anyone can jump in. Like, which cation can form with fixed charge, always same charge? So it's very important. You have print out a periodic table, and label the charge, like we went over in the class. Right? It's a very good cheat sheet for you to work on this quiz, because this quiz, when you do it by yourself, it's unproctored. It's basically open book. Keep in mind it's open book. The purpose to help you learn this material. So anyone can jump in about question 5? Okay. We actually don't have a lot of time with this quiz, so I will try to run this, just kind of show you. Yeah. All right, so the question 6, and this kind of question actually takes longer time. So that's why take your time to think about it. Take your time. Take your time. This kind of question, it takes time to really understand, because that shows you the, you need to know the charge for the cation. For example, zinc. You need to know the charge of zinc and how many charge of nitrate. And then use crisscross, the crisscross simplify to get to the answer. And
Can
each
there
one.
be more than one answer?
That should not be, unless I made a mistake. Okay, if I made a mistake, it's more than one, feel free to let me know and you get extra credit. Yes. You find there's more than one answer. Yeah. So really know the charge, make the camel and so forth. Okay, question 7, basically the same. Question 7, 6 is very similar. And question 8, name compound. This gives you multiple choice. That make it a little easier, actually. For this question, it's basically find a charge. So this kind of question, Mn is a manganese, and CO3, you need to know the charge and name for that. That will help you find out what's charge on the Mn. Okay. So this kind of a question asks about the naming. The key is to find out the charge, how many charge on the metal. And how many charge metal depends on the charge on the anion and how many of them. So go over the PowerPoint, the handout, we have some example how to find a charge on the metals. It basically do the same. You can basically solve like a little equation. The question 8 is about this. Yeah, so if any question about this, Friday during the lab time, I can spend more time because that'll be more, I would imagine, I would assume fewer people show up in the Friday morning, afternoon sessions, and that's good time to ask more about those. I can give you some more examples. Okay, question 9 is basically the same. Question 9 and 8 are very similar. The acetate now is the open book, the open internet. You can check anything about the charge and formula for the, if you are not familiar with the name and the charge on the ions, you can just Google yourself and do this. Okay, this one. When you do this, name, the key is use all lowercase. Do not use uppercase, okay? Use all lowercase. And be watch out for, if the metal is type 2, variable charge, you need to find out charge on the metal. So basically, the question 8 and 9 is kind of help you to handle the question 9, 10, and 11. And so make sure the spelling counts. The spelling errors, it will grade as a mistake. Where is it wrong? And so just kind of give you a hint because you guys are all here. Question 10 and 11 both are variable charge. So you need to find the Roman numerals. So basically these, by the way, the number Roman numeral use capital I. Make sure you do this because even though the English name, it is lowercase, the Roman numeral, the number, is still the capital. So make sure the capital I. And this PB is lead. So let's say you decide this is lead 6. And let's say lead 6. You type in this uppercase VI. And oxygen, everyone know oxygen oxide. So let's say you want to try this. Just basically that's how you type in. I can see their chat is going on. I'm not sure if his chat is blinking, but I'm not seeing. Okay. All right, I'll go on with this. And the question 11, similar. Okay, question 12, writing formulas. So again, all the early part of the quiz, we go over the charge of the ions. You're going to use it here. use the crisscross simplify. You guys, the blank, you don't have editor, so you cannot input the superscript or subscript. So don't worry about this. Just type in the formula. This is case sensitive. Elements, first letter capital, and the second one is lowercase. So let's say I do the calcium. I just made up, I put in the Ca here. It's obviously wrong, but let me see. C, oh, sorry. C.
I think he disconnected.
Wait, how'd you do the lower hand?
You double click raise hand or just click it again.
Okay. Sorry, I think the Zoom just this happened. This happened. Can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Zoom, it just happened before. Because everyone started using Zoom, it's kind of system overloaded. I am not sure how many people are still. I think everyone's here. Okay, great. That's great. Okay, so let's continue. Is everyone okay?
I had to use my phone for a microphone, and the computer stopped all of a sudden.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Let me share my screen. Continue on that. Okay, can everyone see my screen, the canvas?
Yes.
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 Great, thank you, thank you. All right. So question 12, this is obviously wrong, but let's leave it here. But this is proper format when you type in your answer. The first letter in the element symbol capital, and the second one is lowercase, and so forth. Okay, next one. Formula for zinc phosphate. All the AT ions are the polyatomic. So if more than one, make sure you use the parentheses. So let's say I want to put in, I write down some wrong answers. So just kind of show you. I won't write down. I need a 5 zirconium, Zr, and phosphate. Let's say I type in wrong formula. Let's do PhD. All right. And I need a 2, all right? So that'll be, oh. All right. So you can see the, I use the parentheses for phosphate. Make sure to do that. If you have more than one, you need a parentheses. But if there's only one, do not use parentheses because my answer key, I made an answer key, and I leave no option for if you write a parentheses for single polyatomic ion. Okay, so if let's say if someone write like this, that'd be graded as wrong.
Which place is this?
Even, yeah. Can you guys see that? Okay, only one.
Professor.
Yeah. So 5 zirconium, 1 phosphate. Do not write a parentheses. This is very. Okay, we're 1/3 into the quiz, so this will take a long time to finish. Let me kind of go a little faster. Yeah. So all the questions is kind of back and forth. Really ask you to familiar with the charge and formula and so that is the main purpose. Okay. Yeah, the question 14 will take quite a while because for each one, you need to figure out what is charge on the cation. Cation is the one that is to the left, the metal. Okay, so basically each formula, you need to find out what is charge for the metal. And then you will know the answer. Yeah. So in this quiz, if you try to do a group, that's great. I think you guys get together. And by the way, I did not really advertise this because Canvas, the Zoom, conference Zoom, you can actually chat with the person that you want to chat with, and without audio. So it's kind of you chat. You should be able to see that you can chat to somebody. Actually, you can click on someone you'll chat with. So anyway, that's what even though we are locked down in the house, we can actually still connect with your classmates. All right, so this will take a while. Question 14 will take a while. Just be prepared for this. Because each one, you need to either know the charge, like silver is always a positive one, or you need to figure out what is charge on the iron. So click on this, if that answer. It is a learning experience, so don't hesitate. I mean, you have a lot of time to have model trials. And so get started early and keep trying, and get in the group, very important. If you just by yourself and get stuck, if you don't ask the neighbors, you are very likely to make the same mistakes. Then you're not learning. So it's very important. You can pair with someone else and have discussion or talk with me. Oh, very important. Go to the discussion because let me go back to because you don't see the discussion. The discussion posts your questions. And those of you answer correctly, explained, I will give extra credit. Because nowadays our class go online. It cannot be just I do the monologue, I do the one way. It has to be the in-class work together. So feel free to post. That's very, very important. Okay. And this question it's not that hard if you check internet. I think we did not go over acid naming. I think we didn't. I might delete the question later. Okay. This question may not match with our curriculum because in our chapter, the acid naming was not mentioned. And most other colleges I taught, I taught about naming acid. But just in case if I did not delete, you can still find the answer through Google, basically. The Google has all the answer for this. Oh, there are quite a few acid questions. I might have to change those. So anyway. And the question 17, that is test about naming, matching and naming and so forth. So just ask about the charge again. I might ask too many questions about the charge, but all right. Yeah, so these questions are, hello, yes. Nadia, okay. One of you have questions, I think. It flashed a little bit. Okay, do you have questions? Let me see.
Will you be releasing the slideshows like you did before for class on Canvas?
PowerPoint slideshow?
Yes.
It should be under, if you go, okay, I go to, I need to show the student view. Where can I show your student view? So far, I can't. Okay. If you go to the pages, I think you should be able to see, or the home. I think I just changed the home page. That's a problem.
It's usually under pages, but not all of them are there. There's only like some that are there.
You click all the pages. If you can open the page, it should be able to show you the all pages. It's a red button, I think.
Could you upload all of the PowerPoints for the rest of this, like?
Yes, I'll keep doing that. Yes, that's absolutely. And actually, the PowerPoint today, I was supposed to use today. I keep modifying reason because I realized I cannot use whiteboard like in the classroom. So I have to use an animation and a lot of things that I have to add to the PowerPoint. So I just updated PowerPoint like literally 1 hour ago. And so it's like last minute. Let me go to, I don't see, I can show you the student, oh, there we go, student view. Okay, let me explore the student view. Student view, how can I show you the PowerPoint page? You know what, later I can email the link if I cannot show here. It takes some time. Yeah, the Zoom conference, it takes a lot of resource. So my internet, it looks like it'd be slower than, okay. So if you go to pages, yeah, it's kind of slow. Okay, pages. Okay, so if you can see view all pages, that's where you can find everything. And also it is here, there's a link. This is a, oh, that's the wrong link for that. Let me see the.
Yeah, that one hasn't been working. It takes you to worksheet.
Yeah, it's wrong. So let's go to the view all pages. Yeah, that should have all the pages.
Okay.
Yeah, because Comfort Zoom is using resource, using the internet up and down, the download, upload. So that's slow down. All right, so here we go. The lecture PowerPoint. This is a file. And you can see I just updated today. It has all the future PowerPoint, but I will have to remake all the PowerPoint because we're doing the Comfort Zoom presentation. So, okay, think we're good. Any questions? That's where you find those. Okay, I'm gonna leave student view and continue. I'll try to run the same quiz on the, okay, some of you have raised your hand. Yes. You
what
can
are we going to be doing for labs?
Huh?
Oh,
the labs.
Doing labs?
I will give you, there's a PDF file and the lab will be online. It's a virtual lab. It's very cool virtual lab. And so you'll see that, you'll like that. It's, but you do need to calculate and do need to pay attention to sig figs when you show your, fill in your lab report. So yeah, you'll be given, and before Friday, definitely, before Friday. I'll try to give you on Wednesday. I'll try to give you on Wednesday PDF file, the link, the whole thing.
Okay.
And so let me. It's kind of slow because the Comfort Zoom upload, download all the more questions. More questions? I saw people raise hand. Yes. Any more questions? You can unmute yourself and then. Yes. I can hear you, but I'm waiting for the reload the quiz.
What lecture are we doing right now?
We are going to. I will go to start the lecture soon.
Which lecture? Which PowerPoint?
I will run the PowerPoint on my screen, and it should be the same PowerPoint that you saw from the data page that you saw
Okay.
all the PowerPoint. Yeah, same PowerPoint, exactly same PowerPoint.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's slow, it's still running, but it's kind of slow. Oh, okay. I need to wrap up this. For the future, any questions about the quiz, I try to use a lab time because the lab will take much shorter and it'll be virtual. And so any questions, I will use more lab time to answer, to review and such. The lecture time, I will still try to focus on lecture. Yeah, it's very slow because it's very, very slow. Oh, as a student, I have to take the quiz. All right, so I'll take the quiz just like you guys. I'll take the quiz. It's kind of slow. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, so far the questions show up just like you would see. Okay, match, so naming, match, so forth. Let's get back to here. So these are fairly basic questions, and let you familiar with. These are basically, I made those questions based on my years experience, how students make the common mistakes. And that's why they're here, and try to make you, and yeah. So for this question, write a formula. I have some hints and tips. Yes. And write a formula. Okay. I think that we have about almost 40 questions with this quiz. So take your time. And it's very good, very helpful if you print out the quiz and then later as a study guide. Yeah. And this question is kind of funny question. Those of you remember, I mentioned in the lecture. It's a banana, so it's not really ionic compound. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much naming compound, more naming compounds. Okay. The total 40, I think about 50 questions, 51 questions. So it's all about practice. Okay, let me switch to any questions on this one. Friday is a good time to ask. Friday morning and afternoon during our normal lab hour. Okay. Let's start a new chapter. This new chapter will discuss the covalent bonding. This little animation is sugar molecule, the sucrose. And this molecule has have two parts. You can see there are two rings. And the one ring is actually for glucose. The other ring is fructose. So these two sugar both are fairly common. And the glucose is an essential energy molecule in our body. Fructose, it is very sweet. And that's why the the regular drink, the non-zero drink, it has a fructose because that can enhance the sweet taste and is made of a covalent bonding. So we'll go over the what is covalent bonding, what is nature, what is made of them. The next one is naming covalent bonding. Naming covalent bonding compound is much easier than ionic, and so, but it's very common confusion. You gotta use the wrong way to name the ionic because you learn about covalent. So just be patient to be careful with that. Next one, the Lewis structure. This is the main part in this chapter. We spend most time on the Lewis structure, how to draw the Lewis structure. And next, the shaped molecule. We call it molecular geometry. And that is based on the Lewis structure. And so this takes some time to get a practice, but fairly easy to grasp. And finally, the molecule polar or nonpolar, meaning the molecule electrons is evenly distributed or concentrated in one part and stay away from the other. That depends on the geometry also. Depends on geometry. So that's the main highlights in this chapter. This chapter, first part will go fairly quick. Like we have different kind of compounds. And for example, table sugar and table salt, they both look very similar. They appear to be white crystals, but they are very different. The sugar molecules are soluble in water and not conductive to electricity, and they taste sweet. Sugar have different tastes and conduct electricity, and that make them very different. Butane is the liquid we use for the cigarette lighter, the burst the candle, the lighter. We push the button, squeeze the button. That is use butane gas. We light it up and lit a fire. And so that's very different from the first two. And the last one, glycerol, is a compound we use in many skin products. Almost all the skin products have glycerol. It's kind of natural because it is a product. When the human break down the animal fat, it releases the glycerol. It is for make the skin moist and taste sweet. And so that's the and they're all different. The main difference it is because their bondings are different. So that's get to the next one. So we learned about bonding series, and mainly to expect to be able to predict what is the molecule shape and how they will act, how they will behave. Will they become more like a gas, or are they soluble in water or not soluble? And will they conduct electricity or non-conductive?
Professor Wen?
Yes.
I believe the screen is frozen on the
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything. We're still on the quiz.
Oh, no. Oh, sorry. Oh, my.
For a while, actually.
Oh, sorry. I should switch the screen. Sorry, this is I keep talking, I forgot about it. I need to stop share the quiz first. Sorry, this is it's my bad. I should share a different screen. Okay. Oh, gosh. Sorry about that. Can you see that now? Okay.
Yes.